and welcome to TheAIbumMan. And today I'm at long last going to be reviewing Dream Theater's self-titled album, well obviously Dream Theater, shockingly. And yeah, why this review is, sorry, a bit of a cough, taking me so long, I don't know. I mean, Dream Theater are probably one of my top 5 favourite bands of all time, so yeah, I'm a pretty huge fan of the band. So anyway, this review may be a little outdated, but still I want to express my opinions on this album, so just this quick intro in case you've been living in a cave, that this is of course their second album without the, long-time drummer Mike Portnoy, but with Mike Mangini instead, who was actually involved in the writing process this time around, as on the last album, Dramatic Turn of Events 2011. John Petrucci actually programmed all the drum parts, and Mangini just interpreted it, so his drumming, it was alright, but, it really wasn't anything that special on that album. And I did review the album at the time. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to link that review because it's a horrible quality review, but there you go. And my basic thoughts on it, really, I thought it was a little too light, lacked a bit of variety, but still it was a solid album with some really catchy songs to it. So, this statement of a self-titled release, does this really harken in a new era for the band as they're trying to say that it does, or will we just be pleading and crying and begging on our knees back for the return of Mike Portnoy? But, who knows, Dream Theater could have overcome his departure, and there's only one way to find out. So this album was quite a weird start, the instrumental False Awakening Suite, which even though it's only 2 minutes 42, it's actually split into 3 different parts because, well, why the hell not? And this song, has sort of a deep chucking riff and then a male choir and strings and lots of other weird and wonderful voicings from Jordan Rudess and his magical keyboard. And this song, it's actually really cool as an intro, so it takes elements of classical music and just pumps a big needle full of adrenaline into them and creates this beast which provides a very epic intro to the album. And as that goes into the first single from the album and first sort of real track, The Enemy Inside, which brings some normality back to the album with the familiarity of rolling drums and big heavy guitar riffs and some prog metal that we tend to expect from a Dream Theater record. And this song particularly focuses on the themes of post-traumatic stress disorder, I think, from the music video, it certainly seemed to indicate that. And compared to the Dramatic Turn of Events single on the back of Angels, which was of course Grammy nominated, this this song, it's, oh my god, sorry about this. This song is a lot heavier and reminds me more of the type of sound they went for with Train of Thought, which was very dark, yet still had that sort of melodic side that you expect from the band. And I love this song, honestly. I think it's just such a good beginning. And I may have criticised the last album for lacking any real heavy moments, but here we've got a nice, big load of heaviness to really kick us off. Though, still some prominent keyboards, of course, as you'd expect. I mean, I think it's just such a wonderful opening, The Enemy Inside. And then looking last, yes, Limelight 2.0, I know that I'm the millionth and 10th person to make that observation, but I can't help it. This is just so Rush-like, especially Limelight, with that sort of big arena rock sort of major key riff, and Petrucci seems even to have captured Lifeson's guitar tone. It's a fantastic homage to Rush, though without sacrificing that signature Dream Theater sound that, well, you come to expect from them. There's no doubt it's a Dream Theater song, but there's also no doubt it's a homage to Rush as well. And I think that combination works very well. If they made a whole album of this type of thing, then yeah, I would be a little annoyed. But one song, it works really well, and I mean, it still has lots of variety of time signatures, some darker, heavier bits and, pretty intense sections, as well as the clean, prettier parts. I mean, what is there not to love? It's, metallic Rush with musical diversity and a bloody catchy chorus. Particularly, I think My Young's bass is just wonderful here, as he really underpins the song perfectly and plays some pretty interesting bass you should definitely listen out for on this song. I didn't quite get it the first time, but yeah, definitely some good stuff. And then Enigma Machine, lyrics by John Mine, no, that joke really isn't funny anymore, especially as he actually did write lyrics on this album. But no, this is an instrumental. This is an instrumental. So no lyrics from John Myung. But yeah, so first instrumental since Train of Thought, Stream of Consciousness. I'd say that's probably the last instrumental I can remember. What was that? 2003, 4 Train of Thought, something like that. So yeah, that's a long time. About 10 years since we last got proper instrumental from Dream Theater. And yeah, I mean, this 6-minute instrumental, it doesn't disappoint on the weight. It's pretty phenomenal. I mean, it just creates that heavenly balance between different sounds and techniques, and with the real heart of the song is sort of the trade-off solo between, Petrucci and John Willis. Oh my god, they just go completely all out, almost like fighting each other on the instruments. There's some such intense moments. It's just a song that never meanders, never loses momentum. Instead, it just ebbs and flows and bends around like a snake into different styles. It's probably my favourite instrumental of the year, I'd say. Honestly, I wanted an instrumental for this. When I heard it was announced, it was like, oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. And it just doesn't disappoint, and I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't. Okay. So, okay, bigger picture. This has a bit of a lighter, more melodic flair to it, which provides a nice little break after the sheer intensity of Enigma Machine. In fact, on the song, the verse you just see sort of Lebre singing over some light guitar and piano, reminded me almost of one of the sort of the ballads on Metropolis Part 2, you know, something like Through Our Eyes, or that's like Spirit Fades Away, that sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, that album, probably one of the greatest albums ever in my opinion, certainly top 5. And yeah, but this song has a bit more of a commercial sound to it, which some people have been saying about that album as a whole, which I'll address a bit later on in the review. I'm not sure I quite agree. But anyway, this song, it just gets heavier, but yet still keeps the melody. But I need to talk about the elephant in the room, the giant, big, grey elephant, and that is Mr. Mike Mangini. So I criticised his drums a bit on the last album, but, you know, as I said, they were programmed by Petrucci, so it's not his fault. I also criticised when I saw Dream Theater live, loved them, fantastic live band, but he did play one of the most boring, dismal drum solos I quite frankly have ever seen in my entire life. I've seen a lot of drum solos, I've seen a lot of really dodgy drum solos, and this possibly takes the biscuit. And bear in mind, when I was a lot younger, I did see Nickelback live, and I saw their drummer do a drum solo. And honestly, I mean, I can't remember that well, it was a long time ago, but my Mangini's could well have been worse. That's how much I hated his drum solo. It's just a technical showpiece, and it's like, okay, you can play the drums, that's good. Why don't you, do something interesting with it, like Neil Peart does on his solo, or of course, Mike Portnoy. Yeah, so I've been a bit critical of Mr. Mike, but here, he redeems himself. He really shows his true colours here, and while as a huge Portnoy fan, I hate to say it, but yeah, he does a bloody good job. He really does. The drum solos in the songs just add this bit of texture that the last album lacked. And you can definitely tell he was involved in the writing process. He makes his presence very known in this track, The Bigger Picture, as much as any other. No, he's not good as Mike Portnoy. Definitely no. But I still think that Mangini is a good replacement. It'll serve the band well. Can definitely keep up the constant time signatures and stylistic changes, adapting his playing for each. So, well done, Mangini. Seriously, well done. And again, this song, oh my god, I just bloody love it. Seriously, this album, oh wow. As a huge Dream Theater fan, yeah, this is what I wanted. And then Behind the Veil. Now, this starts with a nice build-up of synths that Jordan plays, and the chord progression that Jordan plays sort of subtly here. This appears in many parts throughout the song, and is a nice sort of, I forgot what, reprise, I suppose, throughout the song. And, it's going through this, then suddenly, boom! And this sort of Metallica-like part comes smashing in. It's like Hetfield's just come into the song. And yeah, oh my god, it's pretty awesome. And try not to lose my voice, but The guitar solo here is probably my favourite on the album. I mean, Petrucci just shows why he is one of metal's greats, in my opinion, combining peerless shredding with a handful of artificial harmonics and some slow melodic sections spread throughout to keep his solos interesting, melodic yet heavy and fast and slow. Just that's what I love about his solos. He combines so many different styles. And I find pure shredding just sort of mindless, to be honest. It's not something I'm a fan of. But the way he does it, it's just bloody genius. It really is. And then James, he has such a strong vocal performance on this song as he does the rest of the album. Even though he can't hit those high notes he used to in the 90s and on the Images and Words. And, I still love his voice. I mean, he's got a great, great voice. Even if it hasn't been able to go as high since he got that food poisoning thing, which seemed to harm his vocal cords for a while. Then Surrender to Reason. Yeah, again, this seems to harken back to classic Rush with some lyrics legitimately written by John Mayall, yay! And his bass is actually pretty damn amazing on the song, as he really just digs into the songs and adds this raw, just aggression to it. Oh my god, awesome. And this again has a lot of melody, not only in the chorus, but also in Petrucci's guitar solo, which takes it slow and sounds more like a classic rock solo than the usual metal stuff he gives us, which is nice. And yeah, I mean, this song's at such a high level of musicianship, it's really good. It just continues the consistency and strength, this unrelentingly epic journey through their eponymous titled release. Oh my god. Along for the Ride. This is probably the weakest track on the album, though, I have to say. Dream Theater do some amazing ballads. This ain't one, I'm afraid to tell you. I mean, yeah. I do like the song. I just think that I don't really know. Well, let's start. Okay, the instrumentation. It certainly conjures this sort of pretty atmosphere, but it just doesn't sound as interesting as some of the other songs on this album and some of the other ballads Dream Theater have done. And the main problem that many people have voiced, but it's annoying, it's Jordan Rudess in the middle. He plays this weird as hell keyboard solo. He just has this horrible voicing or tone or whatever you want to call it that sounds so out of place. It's like, seriously, did no one hear this and think, this doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the song. Jordan, please, play those same notes and, stuff, but use a different bloody tone, because, it's just, it really is quite disjointing. If that's deliberate, then I don't know what the hell they're trying to get at, but I don't think it is, and it really just feels very detached and detracts. It detracts from... It's a very commercial song, really, it is. It's probably going to be the second single, if it isn't already. I don't really keep up to what singles they release, but now, Illumination Theory. Oh my god. 20 minutes of epic music. Well, epic may be such an overused word. I really think for this song, it actually fits the bill. I was hoping we'd get a nice extended song on the album that goes past the 10-minute mark, but instead we get 22 minutes, pretty much, or about 20, and that fits the bill perfectly. And we have I'm going to be talking about the different sections of this. And the first section, oh my god, so pretentiously titled, we have the instrumental section, Paradoxe de la Lumière Noire. Yeah, it's definitely not pretentious at all. And yeah, this is how you start a Dream Theater epic, oh my god, with riffs and time signatures just flying around in different directions. And just as you think the dust is settling down, it's going to get nice and calm, it veers off. Like fireworks or something, somewhere completely different, with everyone being thrown into the spotlight, with particularly a nice instrumental pop by Mangini that's very noticeable, where every member has their own, time in the sun or whatever. That's a odd phrase. There you go. And then we get second part, Live, Die, Kill. And this is James coming with some really heavy, brutal sort of chugging metal, and just a bloody brilliant chorus as the band behind just soars. It's just excellent. And the Embracing Circle, this is such a weird section, it really is. So it starts with this sort of keyboard solo from Jordan, and he and John have a little trade-off. And yeah, and also sort of Mayung and Mangini also sound like they're sort of musically fighting in the rhythm section. Everyone's going all out, and then suddenly it just fades away, and it's like you look at the time, it's like, really, it's 20 minutes gone by already, and you look and it's like, no, only about like 5 minutes has. So it's like, well, what the hell is happening? And then you start to hear like these sound effects, and it almost sounds like one of those Sounds of the Rainforest CD you might find in some sort of Buddhist hippie shop. And this orchestra sweeps through, and there isn't a single band member. It sounds like properly classical. And like I tell you, it's stunningly beautiful. I did not see this part coming in a million years. It's just such an unexpectedly serenic part of the song, and just, oh my god, it just differentiates this so much from previous epics like Change of Seasons, 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. It's a couple of my favourites. I mean, wow, it comes as a surprise, but it works so well. It's a genius part. I'm very pleased it did it. But yeah, I did not see it coming. I expected this to be, you know, it's certainly not how I imagined it, and that's good. I like them to veer off and do something truly progressive. Okay, so part 4 and 5 sort of talk about together, and part 4, Pursuit of Truth, sort of brings, I like the intro for this, sort of Mayank, he sort of brings the band back with this nice little bass intro before James comes on wailing in, and then part 5, Surrender, Trust and Passion. This ends the album and song on such an amazingly epic note. And this song, really, it's just one of the best songs they put out for a long time, since probably, I don't know, there's a lot of the shorter songs I like. I'm quite a big fan of their catchier stuff, but certainly, possibly the best since 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, I'd say. It's fantastic. It's an instant classic. It's definitely going to go down as one of their best songs. And I think this album is definitely one of the best over the last decade. It's a far superior album to A Dramatic Turn of Events. This just has so much variety in song structure, style and length, of instrumental and truly progressive 20-minute epics. All I wanted from this album, my wish list, was I thought, right, you know, I want an instrumental and I want an epic. And that was before the album was even announced. I just thought, Dream Theater's next album, definitely instrumental and epic. That would probably make it just, oh my god, but they're not going to do that. And then they did, and it's like, oh my god, like they listened to me. And yeah, so that's pretty awesome. I don't know why people are saying this is too commercial. Since when has a 20-minute epic been too commercial, or an instrumental track? I don't know. Along the Riders, yeah. Enemy Inside, I suppose. There's always been commercial elements in the Dream Theater, certainly their recent work. I mean, yeah, you could look at any of their last few, maybe not as much like Black Cloud and Silver Linings, where all those tracks are like over 10 minutes or something. But, yeah, I mean, there's certainly nothing new, sort of like melody-wise, really. And I'd say this is a heavier album than A Dramatic Turn of Events, definitely. I'd say it's a more interesting album than A Dramatic Turn of Events. I think dust has finally settled on this band and they found their place. I mean, post Portnoy. It's an album of the year contender for sure, and my battery is running quite low, so I'm just going to be quick. And yeah, I'm going to be giving this album 9.5 out of 10. It is just it's just a masterpiece. I love this album. So this has been TheAIbumMan. Thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll.